Tired of feeling tired? Done with diet culture? Overwhelmed by conflicting nutrition and fitness messages? Then join us, your hosts of the Nutrition Revolution podcast, as we take a deep dive into all things women's fitness and nutrition. I'm Kimberly.
And I'm Tabitha. And together we are debunking diet culture myths and giving you the tools you need to finally see the results you're looking for. It's time to revolutionize your nutrition and training. All right, gang, we're back. Another episode. We're going to talk about parents not realizing how much their language around food quietly can become their kids' inner food voice.
I'm be so triggered by this one.
Yes,
This
triggered.
is my life.
Okay. So kids aren't born thinking that cookies are bad or broccoli is punishment. They learn that from us, from our tone, from our comments, from our vibes at the table. So we're going to talk about kids don't just inherit our recipes, they inherit our relationship with food.
Ooh, I love that.
Today.
I love that.
I just had a real life experience with this. I had the really great opportunity to go to one of the middle schools here at the Cesar Rodney School District, Magnolia Middle School. They did a like New Year, New You, like fun family night. They had like a Chipotle bowls, and they had like local vendors.
Fun.
There. It was really cool. And it was a free family event, and they had like yoga and the Magnolia mini farm with their little baby
cool
goats.
That like the
there.
school district is.
By the way, have you ever done yoga with a baby goat?
No, but
baby goats were
really
the cutest thing ever. And they had like little diapers on the baby goats, and they had little bow ties.
So they weren't pooping on them while they're doing the yoga.
It was the cutest thing
love
ever.
it.
And like a kickboxing class going
That's
on.
cool.
And then they had me, yours truly. I was doing the athlete's plate.
Okay.
And so I was just having, I have like food from Amazon, like play food.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you can buy those like kitchen set things for like little kids.
Yeah.
So I have some of that, and I had it set out and grouped into like the food groups.
Yeah.
And as the kids were coming in, I was just basically talking to them about different types of foods and how they fuel you, and relating it back to like if your body was a car, and what do you put into a car to make it go? You put gas in. And so if your body was a car, you put carbs in your car to make it go. Like, you know, that kind of thing. And giving them a visual and like, let's build a better plate. So I was using it like breakfast. What are we going to build at breakfast to make a better plate? And to give your body everything that it needs. Okay, so that was the premise of like the evening, and that was what I was doing. And it was super fun. Love the kids, love the community, love that school. The admin there is top notch, and so are the teachers and staff. So this one kid comes in, he's probably like a sixth grader, and he comes in with mom and dad, and he comes in and he's all like, definitely has this air of like, he knows what he's talking about when he comes in. And I'm like, all right, little guy, like, let's go. And he's looking at my setup, and like, disclaimer, you know, when you buy the like fake food on Amazon, you don't get to choose what's in it, right? So like there's ice cream cones and donuts and bread slices and croissants. And then there's also like the variety of like fruits and veggies and pizza and chicken drumsticks and you know, all that stuff. So I have it like grouped, and he picks up the croissant, and he's like, bread. He's like, bread's bad for you. You can't eat bread. Ooh. And I'm like, well, I'm like, not exactly. You know, and like mom and dad are there.
Yeah.
And both of them are overweight, not in the best shape condition. Okay.
Not what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to tell me they were like super jacked, like fitness people.
And I'll say like, and I'm not judging.
Yeah.
Okay. So don't like come for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's real talk.
This is just real talk. And mom, you could tell, like, this is our industry. Can you tell looking at someone like they're probably on a GLP-1?
Yes.
Mom's most likely on a GLP-1.
Yeah.
Very rapid signs of very rapid weight loss.
Tell on her face.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Right. As far as like trying to do something about it. And so there were signs.
Okay.
So I'm immediately able to read the scenario, and I'm just like, okay. I'm like, I wouldn't say bread's bad for you. I'm like, I would say things in moderation, and how to, you know, there's things that you need to add to have it. I'm like, are you only eating bread? Like, then it could be problematic, right?
Having a bag of Wonder Bread toast every day is probably not.
Probably, exactly. Like, so I'm like, and then I ate, and I said, I was like, and then the quality of your bread. So I'm taking that approach because that is also how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's
and
true.
that's the facts of it. So then I said to him to try to like rein it back in and everything. I said, all right, I'm like, hey, so tell me what you had for breakfast this morning. And he says, well, I didn't have breakfast this morning. And I'm like, what? I'm like, yo, I'm like, bro, I'm like, you gotta have breakfast. I'm like, you gotta fuel the machine. I'm like, well, he goes, well, I didn't have breakfast this morning because we're all out of Pop-Tarts. Girl, I had to fix my face so fast. I'm telling you, I had a whole split second. I had to fix my face.
Oh.
Right? And I'm like, don't look at mom and dad.
Well, maybe it's a strawberry Pop-Tart and like that's fruit.
So he's sitting here telling me bread is bad.
Wow, a croissant.
But then he didn't eat breakfast because he was out of Pop-Tarts.
Oh.
So mom jumps in and mom's like, but we had Greek yogurt and we have this and that. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, there's good choices. I'm like, that would have been good for breakfast. And he's like, yeah, but I don't really like that. And I was like, you like your Pop-Tarts? And he was like, yeah, I like my Pop-Tarts. So then I'm like, nutrition by addition, you got to meet people where they are, right? If I try to take this kid's Pop-Tart, he is not going to like me. Right. So I'm like, all right. I'm like, well, there's two Pop-Tarts in the package. And he said, yeah. I said, well, what if tomorrow you had one of the Pop-Tart pastries, but then you had 2 scrambled eggs. I said, and what do you like? I had the fruit and veggies lumped together. I said, what here of this fruit do you like? Would you eat? And he picked out the strawberries. And I said, okay.
I knew it was a strawberry Pop-Tart.
I said, would you eat strawberries? I said, do you eat your eggs? And he said, yeah. And I said, do you eat them scrambled? How do you want? He said, scrambled. I said, so what if you had 2 eggs scrambled, 1 of the Pop-Tart pastries, and then strawberries? Does that sound like something you would eat? And he was like, yeah, I would eat that. That'd be good. And I was like, that'd be a balanced meal. And I was like, and let me tell you why.
So good.
So I explained to him the protein, the strawberries for some fiber, some vitamins and minerals. Yeah. And then your Pop-Tart, because obviously
that's what you like.
Little man likes his Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
Anyways, parents. The whole thing is he has only heard that bread is bad for you because mom and dad think bread is bad for him. That's the whole point of sharing
yo-yo diet and they cut out all their carbs and they've done keto and they've done everything else and nothing's working for them.
And I'm not judging mom and dad because mom and dad don't know.
Right.
And that's the problem, right?
Yeah,
and
the education is under.
Whatever prescriber, whatever health practitioner is giving mom the GLP-1, because I will literally bet my last dollar that she's on a GLP-1 and it's probably likely needed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Little reset.
Right. But I would bet money that she's been told to cut out carbs.
Yeah.
And I would love to have a conversation with that provider about that because that's just perpetuating. But you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
So this is the information that they've been given. And so he's at home hearing this stuff, but then is being fed Pop-Tarts as his breakfast. So we're literally pouring refined flour and sugar into his body to start the day. But then he's coming in telling me that bread is bad for you.
Well, I think that also sometimes parents focus so much on their own health when they are overweight and like yo-yo dieting and doing all the things. Like if you're on a diet, your kids aren't going to eat the same thing that you're eating on your diet. So you're just letting them eat whatever they can so that you can focus on yourself.
Absolutely.
It happens.
Yes.
Yeah. And then that's their problem in the future.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think today's podcast episode is really going to be about food beliefs being taught at the dinner table long before nutrition is ever taught or learned at school. And so it starts with knowing that kids are internalizing everything that we say and they're seeing everything that we do. So even if we're not saying bread is bad, they're seeing us skip meals. They're seeing us not eat
certain things.
Carbs. They're seeing us go out to dinner at Grotto's or Nicola's or wherever and get a salad with chicken and then be sad about it or make a comment like, must be nice to be able to eat that pizza.
Yeah, I really wanted to eat breadsticks, but...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that people don't realize how early kids start internalizing that food talk.
Yeah.
You know, it starts young. As soon
as they're able to like understand and acquire the language, it begins. And we think that maybe we're teaching health, but with the words that we're using and the tone that we're using, are we instead teaching shame?
Yeah.
And I'm not here to shame you.
Yeah. But this is real talk, is that like, you don't know unless you know. And so sometimes, I'll have people come to me and be like, oh, my daughter is only 12 and she's already looking in the mirror and like rubbing her belly. And one of the first things I say to them is, how often do you do that? And they're like, oh, every day. I hate the way I look. They're watching you. They have been sitting on your bed watching you get dressed and hate your clothes and hate your body since they were 2 years old. So obviously, and I grew up with this. I remember my mom being on yo-yo diets and she didn't like the way that she looked. And she was like, oh, this makes me feel fat. And she would like change her outfit and just tell us like, I feel fat. I'm going to start Slim Fast tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then in my brain, I'm like 12 pounds heavier than you. I'm bigger than you. If you think you're fat, I must know be a you think house. And I haven't even had kids. You had 5 kids.
Yeah.
You have an excuse for why. And, you know, so then that's what starts your brain thinking like, you know, I always try to tell people like the way that you as a family at the dinner table or just in general talk about other people and yourself is the way that your children think people talk about them or think you talk about them. Like, that's just real talk. Yeah. Like, if you're talking bad about people or you're talking bad about yourself, your kids assume that you're talking that way about them.
Yeah. And I mean, and to that point too, when we talk about like the research, what research shows as far as how we view food and how that relationship that we have with food gets developed, you know, labeling foods as good and bad with ourselves and in our homes and for our children, it really backfires. Yeah. It leads to restriction and obsession, not moderation and balance.
Yeah.
When we say no sugar or treats only on special occasions or that's junk, it often leads to sneaking food or eating when allowed, feeling out of control around sweets, hyper focus on forbidden foods, right? Whereas when the food can become neutral, we're able to better self-regulate. It stops becoming a trophy and becomes like just food.
Yeah.
And I do think that when we are able to, I don't know if disassociate is the right word, because I don't want to imply that we're not going to be present or
there's this
like reframe, right. I guess, the way that we talk about food, right? So instead of like, I try to, I'm just using this as an example, and I haven't always been this way. Okay. So for our listeners, like this has been like years of working in progress. Like when I am trying to like make healthier choices or whatever. And for me, it no longer looks like complete restriction. So when we go to Grotto's, because our family, we're huge Grotto lovers.
Typical Delaware people.
It's the greatest pizza on earth. And you cannot convince me otherwise. But
we have a lot of people who listen overseas. And so
they do not know the love of
about Grotto's.
How good the greatness of Grotto's.
You could Google grottos.com and just look at the pizza.
And when you come to Delaware, you have some, and then you can write me thank you notes.
Not me. I hate pizza. Sorry to trigger you, Tabitha.
I just don't understand.
It's okay. But yeah, okay. So when you go to Grotto's,
we go to Grotto's, and it's like I usually always get, my husband and I will share, I really love their Greek salad with grilled chicken, and I get extra olives on the side because I like them. Okay. We share that, and then like I also enjoy pizza, and so I frame it in the sense, like with my kids, it's like, well, I want some fiber and I want protein to have along with this pizza. But like, yes, the pizza also has some protein in it. Yeah. It's kind of lacking in the fiber department.
Right.
So it's about like the balance and the moderation, not the like diet or...
you're not restricting yourself by saying I'm not allowed to eat pizza. I think that's where the misunderstanding comes from. You can be a healthy family and also have balance in your diet. And this is, like you said, like this is something I have had to work on tremendously. I always had the rule of like, I will never let my kids see me thinking I'm fat, or I will never say like, oh my gosh, that person's fat, or this is fat. Or like, I used to get made up, like my mom was always like, oh, I forgot I'm not allowed to say fat in front of you. And like, because your kids are hearing that. So like, but I did have like no, you can't eat that. That's junk, or like whatever. Like we would talk about like, not good food versus bad food, but like treat was a word that we used a lot. Like, oh, that's kind of a treat. Like, why don't you have something different? But the more you understand, like food has a time and a place for anything, and
food as fuel, food as nourishment.
Yeah.
And then food as satisfaction and like joy.
Yeah.
Is kind of how I try to categorize it in my home.
But you bring your kids into that conversation, right? So I think that's the missing piece, is that we often will have our own set of rules and boundaries for ourselves with food, but we don't share them with our children. Like my kids know I have autoimmune disease. They know that certain foods trigger my autoimmune disease, and they know that certain foods, like I just can't eat them. Like they will eat ice cream and I can't eat ice cream. I can't do dairy. They will get nachos and they'll see me picking the nachos without the cheese. Like I'll still try to eat some of the nachos or the loaded fries or whatever they're getting, but like I can't do the dairy. I don't eat pizza. But like if we make pizza at home, like over this snow day, we made homemade pizza crust and like they did their homemade pizzas, and I made myself breadsticks and I had a salad with some breadsticks, and I was like, it's kind of like I'm eating the same thing as you because I can't have dairy. Like, but I talked to them about these are my personal needs with food. There's a difference between like restricting because it will literally mess up my body and hurt me versus like, they know I love chocolate. Like I have a whole shelf at my house that's like my chocolate. And, you know, so it's not like they never see me eating or indulging or enjoying. Like if they're eating some candy, I'll be like, oh, I'll try some of that or whatever. And I used to be that mom that was like, we're never going to eat candy and we're never going to do this and like whatever. It's just not so sustainable because then you realize like, well, if they never eat it with me or here, or they never try it, they're going to go crazy when they're like going to youth group and they're chugging soda and like, I've never done this before. So I had to really work on myself and my own view of food, good versus bad, to create like a more balanced lifestyle. And it's hard work, but having those conversations with your kids about, like you said, like you taught the kid, okay, this is more of a sugary, meal, but like nutrition by addition, if you add some scrambled eggs in there, you're getting the protein and that's helping regulate your blood sugar so that you're not spiking and feeling crazy and you can feel full versus just like a Pop-Tart that's going to run right through you and you're going to be hungry in an hour, right? Like
and
you're
crash your energy levels,
creating a balanced meal and having those conversations. It's never too early to start teaching your kids nutrition. Like it's amazing. I teach my kids co-op class and we do nutrition and fitness. And it's amazing how many of those kids don't know what a protein or a carb or a fat is.
Oh yeah.
And
they had no clue.
Like, you can't eat bread, can't eat pancakes. Pretty like those are
all
bad.
The kids, they all of them. I don't know if there was a single student that came through that knew carb, protein, fat, knew the food sources. And these
are middle schoolers.
These are middle schoolers. Yep. 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Yeah. So what was that? Like 11, 12, 13 years old. And then I don't think there was a kid that was like, oh yeah, bread, waffles, whatever are like okay to eat. Yeah. Everybody was kind of like, oh yeah, I don't think you should have that. Like that's probably not good. Yeah. So there was a lot of the carb phobia, and it's the same with like calories. Like most people don't even know what a calorie is. They just count them. But do you even actually know what that calorie is doing? It's like they don't know. We just know we have to count them. Unit of energy that food provides for your body to function, people. Which means you need calories. Yes, you do. They're not the problem. Yeah. So kids also watch what we do way more than what we say. So I feel like this one hits hard, but I'm gonna try to do it in a gentle way. Okay. Right. Also, like it's truth. So they're gonna notice. I hear from a lot of parents. And especially because I go around talking to athletic groups, specifically like high school athletic populations and teams about like skipping meals and skipping the breakfast. And I'm like, are you skipping meals? Like if you're skipping meals, if you're constantly dieting, if you're always starting over on Monday, if you've got negative body talk, if you're calling yourself fat, if you're eating differently from them, if you're always stress eating, you don't have to say anything. Yeah. For them to notice. Behavior is a language. Exactly. Your behavior is louder than your lecture. Yeah. So if you're doing those things and then you're wondering why they're waking up in the morning and they're telling you they're not hungry because you use fasting as a weight management method, okay, which let's just be honest, it's not actually fasting. It's just going without food. Yeah. You're just starving yourself. Yeah. It is the quick fix starvation without saying it. Time restricted. Unfortunately. Yeah. Time restricted eating. Then, if you want confident eaters, you need to model that yourself. Eating regular, balanced, nutrient dense meals 3 times a day,
as a family
together
too.
as often as possible. And that doesn't always have to look like dinner. Yeah. There are times in my life with my family where it's looked like breakfast on the weekends more than it's been through the week, you know, here or there when we can.
Together as a family and
something. Yeah. But like your kids, you know, seeing you talk positively about food and reshaping it as, how can I harness the power of this food to help my body, to support my body versus, oh, I can't have that. I shouldn't have that. This is bad. That's bad. Don't eat that. This isn't, you know, this isn't good.
Yeah.
And then wondering why they themselves are picky eaters, why they say they're never hungry, why they are constantly wanting to skip meals, why they only want candy and junk. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
And I would say almost every single one of my female clients who comes to me and has weight issues or food disorders or sneaks food or can't be honest about how they eat, it's because it stems from a parent who has all of this same stuff and has shared it with their kids, or still continues to call their kids out and say like, oh, you eating that makes me feel sad because I'm worried about your weight, or you doing that makes me feel a certain way because I'm worried about your weight. You're passing it on to them, and then you're giving them a complex, and then they're going to go down the same spiral. Like, you have to start, someone in the family has to start breaking that generational curse of like, learn more about nutrition, learn more about that. If you struggle with your weight, find someone to teach you educationally about how to eat for your body, and then teach your kids, have those conversations.
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with that 100%. If you, we always say this on this podcast, you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And unfortunately, you know, nutrition is not something that's taught K-12.
I think people overcomplicate it.
Oh, well, not true too. I mean, you can turn to social media and leave so confused, confused and conflicted and have no clue what's up, what's down, what's going around. Yeah. And so, you know, find someone that you can trust. Yeah. Find someone that can help educate you. Yeah. You know, take a class, hire a nutritionist, whatever you got to do so that you can learn, and then take that information and teach your children. And then when you know better, you can do better. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I mean, the goal isn't to raise kids who eat perfectly. It's to raise kids who can trust themselves and their intuition and trust themselves around food. It's really about not having stricter food rules. It's a calmer food environment, and, you know, eating should feel normal, not emotional. Yeah. And that's all I got to say about that.
Agreed. I love it.
Thanks for spending your time with us. If you found this podcast helpful, we would love for you to share it with your friends and family. And don't forget to subscribe on your podcast platform. If you have nutrition or fitness questions you want answered on future episodes, we would love to hear from you. You can submit these questions to our email, thenutritionrevolutionpodcast@gmail.com, and follow us on Instagram @thenutritionrevolutionpodcast.